Minister Boris Johnson has delayed easing of restrictions and reintroduced a local lockdown in Preston as those hotspots emerge. How are residents responding to this?
Look, I think, Tim, probably a little bit like Melbourne, people are just finding it hard to readjust and make sure that they are actually doing the right things, but also a little bit frustrated that they're going back into a further period of lockdown. I think it's, on the whole, reasonably well received in terms of it appears that people are trusting government to continue on with those arrangements. But at the same time, the social distancing and likewise, particularly yesterday was a pretty hot day in the UK. There were lots of people down the beach, not social distancing. So it's an interesting balance, I guess, between the two.
British holiday makers, and there's plenty of them, heading to other parts of Europe. Some of them visiting France could soon be asked to quarantine when they return to the UK.
Yeah, look, it's been an interesting challenge again for balancing between trying to open the economy of Europe up, trying to open the UK economy up as well, and allow some of the UK citizens out to go to their normal places of holiday, be that the south of France or Spain or where have you. But obviously there's the challenge of the virus not being completely under control anywhere in Europe. So there are trade-offs, and Spain had been on 2 weeks isolation when you came home, quarantine when you came home. And it would be a big blow if France goes that way as well. But look, we're all in a situation where the health of our citizens come first rather than anything else.
Dave, it wasn't that long ago that we were talking about Brexit. We've just been crossing to the United States, saying that normally we'd be talking about the US election. It's on in November. Brexit, there hasn't been a breath about it. But what's been happening in that space?
Well, the UK and the EU have been marching on. July was meant to be a really key month, actually, where everything was meant to have been resolved. But funnily enough, as the summer holiday period into August started coming around, things have just drifted a little. And there's now sort of talk of a mid-September date to decide what the future will look like. But Australia and the UK have pressed on. We've launched our free trade negotiations. First round's underway and complete. Second round will be in September. I've spoken with negotiators on both sides, and it seems that they're pretty keen to start engaging in swapping of texts, which is generally something that you do quite late in the piece once you really understand each other's position. And it just goes to show that there's been a lot of hard work been going on in the background to really clarify, particularly on the UK side, their position, because they haven't negotiated a free trade agreement for quite some time. And on the Australian side, we obviously are well versed in this practice. So we're ready to go. The UK seem ready to go. So it all looks good to potentially finish this up by the end of the year.
Now, that is some bright news, but the world is wobbling on its axis. So conducting any form of business, particularly internationally, is difficult. How are some of those challenges being overcome?
Yeah, look, it is very challenging, and certainly if you need to move key workers, it is a really challenging time. The Department of Home Affairs has been doing its best, I think, to really work through those applications made by people where there is a critical need. I wouldn't say that it's been a seamless process. I think everybody recognises that when there's only very small numbers of people allowed to enter Australia each week, it's in the hundreds in each of the capitals that are actually accepting people from internationally at the moment. It is quite challenging just getting the right people in the right place. But more broadly than that, obviously, the coronavirus is taking its toll everywhere. But on the positive side, organisations are turning digital. And I'm sitting in my home office talking to you on Skype here this morning. I sit here or in my office in town, and we Zoom in with people all over the world, particularly from the UK. Last week we had the chairman of Network Rail talking to us. We had 2 state health ministers talking to us. All technology. So, we've all got to adapt and find new ways to make business work.
Thank you, David. It always happens when we start talking about technology, it starts cracking up. But we'll catch you real soon on Weekend Edition. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Cheers.